Welcome to Crown Level Confidence with Caliah Jinaye, the podcast where we empower and inspire you to achieve unstoppable confidence and self-belief. I'm your host, Caliah Jinaye, a wife, mom, entrepreneur, as well as a certified life coach and motivational speaker with a background in humanities and communication. I'm excited to navigate this transformative journey with you. In each episode, I'll bring you candid conversations, practical tips, and inspiring stories from remarkable women who have conquered many challenges and risen to new heights. Get ready to have your crown straightened as we listen, learn, and laugh together so we can level up. Let's dive in. Hello, and welcome to this newest episode of Crown Level Confidence Podcast. I'm your host, Caliah Jinaye, and I'm so excited to bring y'all what I know is going to be an awesome conversation. Y'all, I have a new guest for you, a phenomenal woman, Briana Osborn. Briana, say hey.
Hi.
Let me tell you a little bit about Briana, okay? So Briana's journey has been marked by profound challenges and transformation. Raised in a difficult environment with an addicted father, a dedicated mother, and exposure to emotional abuse and domestic violence, Briana faced significant trauma, including sexual assault and severe bullying. Despite these adversities, finding light in her early relationship with her husband and starting a family brought some relief. However, at age 26, her husband's stage 4 cancer diagnosis pushed her to her limits. Determined to heal for the sake of her children, Briana embraced holistic practices, including tarot and chakra healing. Through her business, Nacho.Average.Healer, she now offers spiritual readings, life coaching, and tarot oracle readings, with plans to introduce sound healing sessions soon. Briana is committed to empowering others and breaking generational cycles, and she is passionate about sharing her story to support and inspire those on their own healing journeys. Woo, this is going to be good, y'all. Briana, welcome.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So, what an introduction. Oh my gosh, like I was reading it and I was like, wow, okay, I know she's got a lot to talk about. And, just the different things that you've experienced in your life. I know it's, you know, fortunately, unfortunately, right? Relatable, the bittersweet that you had to go through that. It's horrible that anyone else is going through it, but the silver lining, I don't know, is the
Yeah.
fact that you can, shed some light as to how to heal for someone who's in a situation now and they're just like, this is the worst possible thing. I don't see how I'm going to get through this. So kind of tell us a little bit about your mindset, right? And how you've been able to take your trauma into transformation.
Oh gosh. Yeah. I guess I was silent for years. So, with people who've been through traumatic events such as sexual assault or abuse or growing up in kind of like a rough home, I think we learn to suppress everything.
Mm-hmm.
And from a young age, at least me being the oldest, I learned that like I need to shelter everyone else, which came in that empathic and needing to mother everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And so we, I think, are so afraid to say these things because it makes us unworthy. It makes us feel that we're dirty in a sense. It makes us feel that we're not up to par, essentially, and to talk about it. Sometimes when you do talk about it, especially in my experience, I was, after I was sexually assaulted as a child, I got spanked
Mm.
when I brought it up. So it just kind of put that fear inside of yourself. And so it took me years. I'm 32. So this last 2 years, I just started talking about my sexual assault as a child and some of the things I went through because in my family it wasn't talked about. As I said, I got spanked. I suppressed it, and now I'm done. I have done my healing. I have learned that what, it's not on me to hold things that people did to me.
Right.
And so I want my mental illness, mental health, mental awareness is a huge thing for me because I've battled depression and anxiety and postpartum with my kids. And I want people to really start speaking your truth. Speak up. You are not the problem. Don't let people push you into that box and not allow you to say your truth because you're meant to be here. And so when you start doing that and really start opening those hard things to talk about, I promise you there's peace from it.
That's right. That's right. Wow. What's such a powerful message. I feel like we could have just like dropped the mic like right there. That's a whole sound bite in and of itself. Someone needs to hear that every day when they wake up. Like you just open your eyes and you're
Right.
like, okay, I thank you, Lord, I made it here. And then just press play on Brianna, and she's gonna hype you up, and you get out the bed, and you go live your life, the life you're meant to lead.
Right.
Wow, Brianna, thank you. And so, I know you mentioned again some things that are very relatable in women, and things that we face that we don't talk about. Like you said, we suppress a lot. We're taking care of everyone else. I'll get to myself later, if ever. And so how were you able to kind of in retrospect, shed some light as to maybe how you were able to see, okay, I'm done now. You recognize I'm done now. And then what did that next step look like once you realized you didn't want to be how you were in the past? How did you decide to move forward?
Oh gosh, I think I'm guilty of this. I knew I was having like anger. I was quick with responses. I was getting really short with my children, which is not the parent I wanted to be. There was a lot of yelling in my home from my father. And when you have someone that's yelling and making you feel less than, I've developed anxieties and social, not feeling like I'm worth to be here, feeling like I don't belong, always trying to get acceptance from people. And so with my daughter, I noticed our firstborns, I feel so bad for our firstborns. We are learning to parent. And so it was just that. And then my husband got sick. And I realized a year of our life was gone. And I don't remember a lot of it because I had PTSD and stuff that I've suppressed. And it just brought up a lot of childhood wounds that I have never talked about. And so I was like, you know what? I went to traditional therapy and it just didn't click with me. And I just didn't feel like the person. I've seen two therapists and I just didn't feel like they were connecting with me. And I went to a psychic medium and she connected with my nana who had passed over. And I just was like, you know what? My nana always was spiritual and always was very loving to everyone and told me to boost myself up. And, so I just kind of started connecting to that after my husband was sick. And I started using crystals and energy healing and just really starting to connect with the earth and myself and believing in who I was and my journey and that my husband would be okay as long as we are together. Again,
Mhm.
we've been together since we were 14. So
Wow.
me and him are very connected. And so I was like, you know what? No, we're going to start putting it into the atmosphere of not being negative anymore. Cause I
Mhm.
realized I'm an Aquarius. So I'm a super, how we're bubbly and we also like our alone time. But I wanted to start thinking positively. And how could I do that when I was holding so much baggage?
Mhm.
So I really dove into all of that because when you're just carrying around those things, it's toxic to our bodies. It makes us sick. It makes us overwhelmed. It makes us overthink. And so I just really dove deep into that and the holistic healing of oracle cards for affirmations or confidence boosts and calling me out on my craft, so to speak. So
Absolutely.
it's definitely been a journey.
Yeah, wow. And one that's I'm sure not without a lot of, changes and challenges, right? As you learn and you discover things. So, kind of tell us about how you chose to marry, if you will, or
Yeah.
blend your own spiritual growth with your professional growth, because at some point you decided, okay, I'm reaching to this for help and now I want to reach back and help someone else. Like what did that look like?
Oh gosh. Yeah. So I dove really deep into after I did kind of my healing. When I started using oracle cards and tarot, I did it on my family because I was like so excited. I'm like, I'm so connected to this. Like every reading I've done has just been so, and I know there's taboo a lot in my area where we live. It's very religious community and it's very tabooed on. So I've had a lot of pushback of thinking that this is like connecting to the devil, but what I'm using it for is healing only. So I always tell people, I'm not going to tell you if you're going to win the lottery. I'm not going to tell you when you're going to die. I'm just using what you have inside of you and bringing it to tuition for yourself, letting you see your worth, letting you see things that you want to work on. So I actually did it on a teenager, and I have permission to share the story.
Okay.
Um, he came to me and wanted to do a reading, and it was through a private friend, and I wasn't public yet. And he was struggling with suicide.
Mm.
suicidal thoughts, deep depression. And he had come with his mom, but he wanted to do the reading private, which she gave permission. So we did the reading and it brought up those things. And he asked me to bring mom in because he was terrified to tell her that he was so far in depression that he had wrote a note and wanted to kill himself.
Oh my gosh.
And so I brought mom in and after, I don't want to give all the details, but after he, I cry every time I tell the story. I'm so sorry.
Don't
Um,
apologize.
he thanked me because I was able to bridge that for him. And I
Mhm.
just felt like this is something I need to do. I need to help people that are at that step that they feel like there's nothing left and let them believe in their self because it isn't me doing it, it's in you. I'm
Mhm.
just helping you get there. And so he was able to talk to his mom and got the proper help he needed. And now he's doing great. So that right there, that, and I've helped a few other people in my family and with clients I've helped like through divorce. There's a woman that was in a very toxic relationship and she's now divorced, she's thriving, she's living her life. So I know I'm meant to do this, and I love to let people kind of like heal themselves. Essentially, I'm just guiding them
Mhm.
to that end piece, because this kid, what if he wouldn't have come to me? And I always think back to that. I'm like, what if I keep hiding what I have? Because I believe everybody's here for a purpose. I
Mhm.
believe everybody has their own unique thing to put into the world, and it should be valued and it should be cherished. And you should scream it from the mountaintops because you are worth it. You are meant to
Absolutely.
be here.
There she go again, y'all. We're gonna come up with a Briana Osborn calendar. Okay, you heard it here first. Every day, 365.
Nation.
You just flip the page and she's got something new for you. Okay, perfect. And you said a lot of things. So, our community here knows we are not scripted. And so I'm listening to you and I'm like, ooh, that's good. Okay, so I got to go back because you said something that I know people who follow the show are like, what? Wait a minute. I'm not gonna lie. It was a little eyebrow when I saw the bio. I was like, okay, this is what we're talking about. But it's good. It's good because I don't consider myself like a religious person, but I do wholeheartedly celebrate and share my relationship with God, right? So I'm like, okay, how am I gonna have this conversation? But ultimately, right, we are connecting, and I love learning about things that I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't know that much about tarot reading, chakra, all of it, but just to listen to you and how committed you are and how touching that experience was with that young man, it just lets me know, all right, like kind of like what you said, but in my own words, like, oh, she's in it for some good reasons.
Yeah.
She is, and so I wanted to. I don't know if disclaimer is the right word, but I wanted to like address that because I already know I'm
Yeah.
going to, there's gonna be some comments and I welcome it because, like I said, we can come from different backgrounds and talk about something ultimately for the greater good. And I feel like
Exactly.
we are both pursuing the greater good here. And a lot of times we need more information about what we don't know about. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean I might not be calling you for a reading.
Right.
But that doesn't mean I'm not willing to say, okay, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
think ultimately what's the most important, and I personally I'm super interested. So I'm kind of like taking all this in. It's new for me. My brain is like firing, like, oh, what should
Right.
I talk about? And trying to imagine all of this because kind of like what you said about your community. I don't know exactly where you're living. You don't need to tell us, but what I don't know if I would be like some of your neighbors, like, oh, what's she doing over there? I know I'm
Yeah.
not judgmental in that to that degree, but I might be a little curious, like, oh no.
Right.
Don't come opening doors over here. I don't know. But like I said, all jokes aside, we're here because we're leading women worldwide to lower their stress and raise their levels of
Yeah.
confidence. And those things manifest in so many different ways. And so to have something, safe and healthy, you've done the research, you've done the studying, this is your profession. Like you said, this is what you feel like your purpose is aligned with. I'm
Yeah.
not here and no one else, I'm not here to, and no one else can take that from you what that looks like for you. So you didn't need me to affirm you, but I am publicly because I'm saying, hey, the path is yours to walk, and it's not up to me or anyone else to tell you how to do that. Uh,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? How you go about inspiring and uplifting other people. So, with that in mind, kind of tell us more about, how people can get in touch with you. If this is their cup of tea, and they want to know more. And I don't mean that, please. I'm really not trying to be mean. I don't mean that in a negative
Oh
way.
no, you're fine. That's the greatest thing about this is because there are people who have come to me that were on in your shoes
Mhm.
and they quickly realize that it's more of a life coaching. And so I used to call myself like a tarot oracle reading, and I know a lot of people associate that with witchery, and that is not anything what I'm doing.
Just
Um,
wait a minute.
right. So I have changed what I'm doing. And so I am a transformational and healing coach.
All right.
I have a page, Nacho.Average.Healer, and so I'm super cheesy. If you get to know me, I like to make mom jokes, dad, like those dad jokes. I am
Yes.
all about that. So I made a page. I have a group as well. I just started because with Facebook, it has some limitations. So I made a more private group for people that are kind of in that thing of like, I don't want people to know I'm coming to talk to you.
Right,
So
right. It
it's a
can be
more
very
private
personal.
space. Yeah, exactly. And you can always message me on Facebook. I have my personal page, Briana Osborn, Nacho.Average.Healer. And then I have a group, and my covers on all of my pages will lead you right to that. If you click on my cover page, it'll lead you right to my group, right to my page. Super easy to get to. I am available, especially my biggest thing I want people to know is if you are struggling with mental health, please reach out to me because I don't want to see you not here.
Mm,
So at any point that someone is on that brink and you have no one to turn to and you're embarrassed to talk to people, because I've been there. I don't want to tell people when I'm struggling because I'm a
mhm.
strong, independent woman,
Right? We
right?
got this.
So, right? So message me because I never want anyone to feel that low in their life. And I won't, I mean, I charge obviously for my services, but just message me, okay? Because we'll work something out
Absolutely.
and I
Well,
will be available at any point. Um, I have an email, Nacho.Average.Healer@gmail.com. Yeah, so I'm pretty open. You can find me right away if you type it in Facebook. And I do have an Instagram. I just am terrible with social media. I got Facebook down and I'm like, learning Instagram. I don't know yet.
yeah. Oh, we've all
So
been there at some point. And y'all won't have to look too far because Brianna hooked us up with some of her links and we've got those in the description. So just go ahead and scroll down and click, if that's what you need to do. So we we have we've kind of breezed over some heavy stuff, Brianna.
yeah,
We laughed and kikied our way through, but we breezed over some heavy stuff. So, what would you say to that person who, they're like I said earlier, they're still in it. They haven't quite come out of it to look back and be like, whew, 'cause they're still in the middle of, XYZ fill in the blank. How can they, give us some encouragement or give us some insight as to how they can move forward? Obviously, they could reach you, but
yeah.
until they do that, what can they do?
My biggest advice is to stop suppressing.
Mm,
So I know it's kind of confusing, but some people don't understand. And maybe it's because I am a millennial, how we grew up is stuffing everything down, rub some dirt on it.
mhm,
You don't need to do that. And it doesn't make you weak to say your truth. It doesn't make you weak to be struggling. Just because you're struggling doesn't mean you're failing. Life is
mm,
hard. We all go through our struggles and reach out because the biggest thing I've learned from being in this journey of mine is when you reach out to people, you don't realize how many other people are going through it too. They just don't talk about it.
mhm.
And so when you are in that thick of it and you're sitting with yourself, and I have been there, I mean, I don't want to go too into detail. I don't know how much you want me to go into, but I'm like, after my postpartum with my daughter and a lot of the traumas that I've been through when I was a teenager, I was bullied so badly. And I hate bullying. This is like,
Mhm.
it, you say, oh, it didn't bug me and you try to shrug it off, but it impacted me for my life.
Yeah.
It stuck with me for life. Like I had girls that wrote, fat A on my locker, told me to kill myself. It was really bad. And so you get to a point, and a lot of kids that are bullied get to a point where you start to believe those things.
Mhm,
Don't believe them. They are miserable in their own life and they might have problems at home. Kids that usually treat others that way don't have good home lives or don't have that love. And so they're projecting it out to you and it's not you. So
Yeah.
start to believe in yourself and know yourself and reach out when you get to that low, because reaching out doesn't make you weak and someone will help you. But I know it's hard to take that step and you feel so vulnerable to tell your truth. But I promise you, when you bridge that and you get over that, good things are going to flood to you. When you breach that negativity out of your life and unload those blockages, you're going to flood positivity to you and you're going to start to feel like a new person. And it's going to be beautiful. And I hope that for everyone. I hope everybody reaches a level of peace in their life that they are just living for them. Like, obviously, I live for my children and my husband, but you need to live for yourself. You need to self
Absolutely.
care. You need to go through life with these being like, hey, I am beautiful. It took me years to be able to say that. I am beautiful. I am worth it. I am so excited in life finally. And it took me years. I promise you, I've been to the depths, but it
Wow.
is so beautiful when you get there.
Absolutely. Yes, I am. Ooh, I'm one of the biggest advocates. First of all, thank you. Yes, I agree. And I'm one of the biggest advocates for, when before I married my husband, I was like, listen, I love you, but you don't complete me, right? I'm me, you're you, and we come together, right? And he's
Right.
like, that's okay. You see all the movies, like, you complete me, you compliment me. I'm already,
Yep.
I'm already me. We're adding you to me. So that was one. And then, you have babies or you have kids, and I consider myself new on my motherhood journey. My oldest is about to be 2,
Oh,
and my son was just born earlier this year, so they're about a year and a half apart. And I'm like, "Oh, they're so great." But if it's between me or them, like, when it's in the thick of it, right? Everyone's screaming, everyone's like hot, everyone's all the things. If it's when it's between me and them, I'm pick me. I'm like, let me just drink this glass of water. Obviously, if it was more dire, I would rise to the occasion as the mom. I believe I would be the car mom that would lift up the car. But aside from that, when you can like just take a quick second and assess, like, no one's actually in any real danger, everyone's just
yep.
irritated, I'm gonna calm me down first. And
Yep.
then and then I can help everyone else. But if I don't fix me, then it's going to continue to be worse for everyone. Kind of like when you're on the plane, I love to travel. And they tell you every time you take off the rules, and they're like, okay, if the pressure in the cabin, changes and the masks come down, put yours on first before you help someone else. We have to do that. Like, that's a real thing. You've got
Yep.
to get you together so you can, be there. And when we continue to be in denial and push our needs down, and we're only prolonging, you know,
Yep.
worse things. So just take a deep breath, fix you, and then,
Yep.
get to the rest of your family. That's at least my advice and my limited motherhood experience. But
Fill up your cup. Yep.
Yeah, you have to. You can't give what you don't have, whether that's grace or patience or love. Like you said with the bullies, it's impossible to give what you don't have. So you need to make sure you're giving yourself those things, right? You need to eat. This is what I do. This is a tangent, but let me tell you, I discovered a new like mommy hack. So there's a lot of controversy on Facebook lately. I don't know if you've seen it over like what order to feed people. So it's like 50-50. Some say, oh, you feed the kids first because they're kids and they don't know how to wait. And some people say, oh, I feed my husband first because he's the head of the house and we honor him or whatever. And so I'm thinking about, and I understand both sides. I would say traditionally my first thought is I would feed my husband first or make his plate first and whatever. And then I really had to think about it. Like, I had to really, really think about it. And I'm like, you know who eats first? Me. I eat first. I'm eating the food in the kitchen
Yep.
before it even comes out. So I have the energy to feed the kids and to do everything else while that's happening at the table. So you really got to think about it. Like, let's zoom out here. Everyone else will get fed, but no one is getting anything if I
Yep.
fall out. So it's kind of like the same thing. I don't know why that exact example came to mind, but I've been doing it. I can't cook hungry. I think I'm hungry right now. But anyway, Brianna. Um, so tell us, thank you for being transparent. And you said something earlier where you said you weren't sure how personal I wanted it to get. This is your opportunity to be as transparent as you like to be. Everyone knows this is technically a family show, but we cover things that real women go through. And then clearly it's
Yep.
not a scripted show. We're having a candid conversation. So, if anything else comes up, just know that it's genuinely and generally a safe space, because ultimately we can't really be effective if we feel like there's a barrier, right? So I just want to
Yep.
give you that in front of everybody. But next, we can kind of get on an upswing here. I do consider myself an upbeat person, but we talk about heavy things as we should, as we need to, but kind of give us something that you're looking forward to. I know you may have some future goals and some different things that you are looking to serve everyone with. So just kind of share that because I'm excited to hear what you've got going on.
Yeah. So obviously, like, I do Oracle and Tarot readings. And I like to call them energy readings just because I do it differently than a traditional tarot oracle reader. Like I said, I use my energy and our connection to do a reading rather than connect. I know some people connect differently. Mine are obviously from a healing aspect and to better your self healing and yourself, kind of like that life coaching. So I do offer sessions for that, and I am certified in sound healing. I am obviously a mother of two. My husband had cancer, so I am the provider of the family now. And
Mm.
that was a switch too. I was a stay-at-home mom before he got sick, so we had switch of roles. And
Mhm.
so I am the main provider now, and I am very new, so I can't afford sound bowls yet. But as soon as I do, I'll be offering sound healing sessions. And so that's something I hope a lot of people look into because it is scientifically your body is made of water, and this is the best way I like to describe it. Your body heals with sound. So when our bodies are made of water, water responds to frequency. And so your body can actually be healed with sound. So, and I know a lot of people get a little confused on that. Wanted to buy crystal sound bowls, and I'll be offering sound healing with tuning fork sound bowls. I hope to add in some yoga in there. And I do sacred ceremonies with connecting to your inner self, and your, I guess, peace inside of yourself with those things to let out emotions that we're harboring in and unblock those things in our body that we're holding on to. And I'm also in healthcare. So I am a in-home healthcare, and I take care of hospice patients, and we'll be offering death doula or end of life doula care, where I help people connect when they're going to cross over,
Mhm.
bring emotional support to the families because losing a loved one is hard and that grief is really hard. And when you go into if you're keeping them in home, for instance, and not in a facility or in a facility, they don't really help the family walk through the process sometimes of
Mhm.
like what's going to happen, things that happen right before they're going to pass. And they don't really educate people or help them through that. So that's kind of where I come in and help you emotionally understand the steps that are going to happen, give you your time to say what needs to be said. There's been a patient of mine that was in a coma before they passed. And the loved ones were so, worried that they weren't going to be able to hear what they were saying before they pass.
Mhm.
And the hearing is the last thing to go before you pass over. So they will hear you. And so giving that space for everybody to feel safe and let that transition be less traumatic, I guess is the way to put it.
Yeah.
So, a lot of things offering life coaching as well. I offer affirmations are huge with me. I love to get that out there, let you feel confident in yourself. Sometimes we don't want to talk to people close to us about our struggles. So, and we don't really want to. I know I had troubles going to a doctor's office and feeling like everybody's looking at me because I'm going to therapy.
Mm,
So
right,
this
right,
is a
right.
more private, one-on-one connection where me and you will build, and everything that is said between me and you is confidential and private. And I take that very seriously. Unless you give me permission to share the story, like two of my clients have, my lips, it is between me and you. So it is very sacred place, a safe place. And I just want healing for everybody. I just really want everyone to feel their purpose in this world because it took me way too long to get to this point. And I really want that for everyone. I don't know how to like shove that out there anymore, but if I could shake you and make you feel it, I want you to feel worthy. I want you to feel accepted and appreciated and just yourself. Be you because you are unique, and that is so important in the world.
Ooh, yes, it is. Wow, Brandon, you're like reading my mind. I was like, okay, how am I going to tell her it's time for the final word? And here you are just transitioning, leading us up perfectly for the final word of the episode. I feel like that could have been it, but And it can be, but I want to formally let you know, okay, we're here now. We've made it to the part of the episode where it's like, oh my God, the conversation is so good. We could keep going, but as women, we've got so many things to do. We got to move on. So hit us with the final word. What is that? What is that last thing you want to leave with us as we wrap up today?
Kindness costs $0. So,
Mm,
um, I know it's hard. As a mom, you're a new mom. Sometimes we just wake up and we are in a bad mood.
mm,
And when you go out into the world and you're feeling that way, try to go out of your way to look at someone and say, "You look beautiful today," because you don't know how much that could change someone's day. And it
mm,
costs you nothing. And it will, I know it seems silly, but when someone comes up to you in the store and you're feeling that way and they were to say that to you, immediately you're going to be like, huh, my day was going pretty not so great, and it will change someone's day just by something simple like that. So
mhm,
spread kindness any way you can. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to cost a thing, but when you can do something for someone else that doesn't exert yourself,
mhm. Right, right,
do
right.
spread that kindness, because love is infectious and we can start a wave with just one pebble. So I hope for the world that we start loving each other, different backgrounds, different walks of life. Everyone just needs to love each other because it can change so much. So,
Absolutely. All right. She said kindness costs $0 and 0 cents. Okay. So use your common sense and pay for your kindness instead. Wow. Briana Osborn, thank you so much for spending time with us. You didn't have to, but I'm so glad you did. Conversations like these, like the ones we're having, are so important, and the efforts that we're making here. So I appreciate your transparency and your availability, your willingness, right, to help some woman around the world realize that, she matters. You know, um, she's got a purpose for her life, and encourage her to fully walk that out. So thank you. Thank you for being here with us today.
perfect. Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Yes. All right, y'all. It's a wrap on this episode of Crown Level Confidence, where we're leading women worldwide to lower their stress and raise their levels of confidence, y'all. And, as usual, I love y'all, but more importantly, I'm grateful that you love me too. All right, y'all. We're signing out. Thank you for tuning into another empowering episode of Crown Level Confidence with Caliah Jinaye. I hope you enjoyed today's conversation and found it both insightful and inspiring. If you'd like to be a featured guest on the show and share your journey of confidence and self-belief, please reach out to me at podcast@caliahjinaye.com. I'm always eager to connect with remarkable individuals who have a story to tell. And for those interested in connecting with me for speaking engagements or mindset coaching, you can find more information on my website, caliahjinaye.com. I'd love to hear from you and explore how we can work together to inspire and empower others. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss an episode filled with actionable tips and heartfelt stories. If you enjoyed today's episode, I'd truly appreciate it if you could leave a review on your preferred podcast platform. Your feedback helps us reach more listeners and inspire even more people to straighten their crowns. Remember, your journey to unstoppable confidence is a continuous adventure. I'm happy to support you every step of the way. Keep believing in yourself, keep shining, and always wear your crown with pride. Until next time, this is Caliah Jinaye, your host, signing off. Stay confident, stay empowered, and keep leveling up.